What if healing isn't about becoming a new person? What if it's about remembering the woman you've always been underneath the fear, the disappointment, and the expectations? Welcome to 1012 Expressions, home of the 1012 Collective. This is a space curated for you, a sanctuary from the noise, a return to the essential. It's a quiet corner of the world where you can finally exhale and begin to hear your own voice again, clear and true. This is a community of women committed to becoming the highest expression of themselves. But what does that truly mean? It means we are not striving for an external ideal of perfection. Instead, we are journeying inward. We are peeling back the layers of expectation, of conditioning, of who we were told we should be, to uncover the brilliant, authentic woman who has been there all along. It's a commitment to self-discovery, to radical self-acceptance, and to the quiet, consistent work of alignment. Here, we believe in the power of shared intention. We are a collective of visionaries, creators, mothers, leaders, and dreamers. We are women who understand that our individual growth is amplified when we are witnessed and supported. We hold space for one another's becoming, celebrating the victories, and honoring the courage it takes to simply show up, day after day. This isn't about comparison or competition. It is about connection and collective elevation. Every week, we anchor our journey in a simple, powerful rhythm. We awaken, we rise, and we radiate, together. We awaken with intention, through guided reflections and prompts that invite us to look within. We rise in community, sharing our insights, and learning from one another in our weekly sessions. And we radiate that newfound clarity and energy into our lives, our work, and our relationships, becoming beacons of grace and authenticity. This weekly cadence is our anchor, a consistent practice that grounds us, centers us, and propels us forward, one intentional week at a time. If you feel a stirring within you, a quiet call for something more depth, more alignment, more connection, if you're ready to stop performing and start living, to trade exhaustion for energy, and to build a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. If you're ready to become a 1012 woman, you're not here by accident. You're exactly where you belong, somewhere along the way. Little by little, you learn to make yourself smaller. You learn to hide your voice, to swallow your words like stones, feeling their weight settle deep inside. You learned that your opinion was often an inconvenience, your truth a disruption to the comfortable quiet. So you chose silence. You nodded when you wanted to scream. You smiled when you wanted to cry. You made your voice a whisper in a world that demanded you shout to be heard, until the whisper faded into nothing at all. You learned to question your worth, to see your reflection and only find flaws. You started measuring your value in external validation, in likes, in promotions, in the approval of others. You collected achievements like armor, hoping they would be heavy enough to convince you that you were enough. But the doubt was a persistent echo, a quiet hum beneath the surface of your busiest days, asking, "Have you done enough? Are you good enough?" It became a constant, exhausting negotiation with yourself. You learned to lower your standards, not all at once, but in 1,000 tiny compromises. A relationship that felt more like a duty than a joy. A job that paid the bills but starved your soul. You accepted good enough because you were told that wanting more was selfish, that being content with less was a virtue. You stopped asking for what you truly deserved because a part of you had started to believe you didn't deserve it in the first place. Your world, once expansive, began to shrink to the size of your own lowered expectations. You learned to apologize for your ambition, to frame your dreams as silly little hobbies. You felt the fire in your belly, the pull towards something greater, but you learned to smother it with self-deprecation. You called your vision a side project, your passion a distraction. You feared that your drive would be seen as aggressive, your focus as cold. So you downplayed your goals to make others comfortable, shrinking your future to fit into their present. You learned to carry everyone else's expectations. You became the keeper of their hopes, the manager of their emotions, the architect of their comfort. You built your life around their needs, leaving no room for your own. The weight was immense, a cloak you wore so often you forgot it wasn't your own skin. You became the reliable one, the strong one, the one who never says no. And in the process, you forgot how to listen to the needs of the person carrying it all, you. None of those things were your identity. They were not the core of who you are. They were not your truth. They were survival. They were the armor you forged in battles you were never meant to fight alone. They were the walls you built to protect a heart that had been bruised one too many times. They were the strategies of a brilliant, resilient soul trying to navigate a world that wasn't built for its light. They were a testament to your strength, but they were never, ever you. Healing isn't fixing yourself, because you were never broken. Healing is remembering your voice, remembering your value, remembering your peace, remembering your standards, remembering your joy. Let's be clear, you're not perfect. You have days filled with doubt and moments you wish you could redo. You carry scars that tell stories, and you have made peace with the fact that some cracks are part of the design. Perfection was a cage you willingly walked away from. You aren't fearless. Oh, you feel fear. It whispers to you in the quiet of the night and sometimes shouts in the face of a new challenge. But you have learned to greet it, to acknowledge its presence without handing it the reins. Your courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward anyway. And you aren't trying to impress everyone. The exhausting performance of seeking approval is a role you no longer audition for. You have traded the roar of the crowd for the quiet hum of your own integrity. Your energy is a precious resource, reserved for what and who truly matters, starting with yourself. No, you don't do any of that. You simply return to herself. Again. When the world gets loud, when the old patterns call to you, when you feel herself drifting from your own center, you return, and again. With the small daily choice to honor your own boundaries, with the grace you offer herself when you stumble, with the quiet moment you carve out just to breathe, and again. This return isn't a grand, singular event. It is a practice, a muscle you strengthen with every conscious breath, every moment of intentional pause, every time you choose your own peace over the chaos of pleasing others. It is the patient, steady work of a lifetime. This is not a destination you arrive at. It is a way of being that you cultivate, moment by moment. That is what becoming looks like. Every choice you make is another opportunity to awaken, another opportunity to rise, another opportunity to radiate. Welcome to the 1012 Collective. Keep becoming. Until next time, awaken, rise, radiate, and above all, keep becoming.